another very large build completed here in Hogwarts. It was about the same size as the northern tower, a little bit taller, but it was much simpler to build because it was more of a repeating pattern. And now that I know this pattern inside and out, I'm done with building this pattern because our last few builds that we have left here are going to have a different design. Welcome back here on the Infinite Realm server with Yanni Plays. And yes, I know I was gone for a while and videos are not coming out as frequent anymore. So I just have a lot of stuff going on in my real life. COVID is tempering down, we start traveling for work again, and there's just a lot of projects going on. But I'm glad that you're here. So we're standing in another courtyard. This one here is a smaller courtyard, and I am not 100% sure how I'm going to design everything in here, because that's a courtyard that you don't see a lot of pictures from. But I'm probably going less nature in here and more stone and landscaped things, because you don't have a lot of sun in here. You have a lot of tall buildings around, and actually those hallways here on the side should have been taller, and I had them taller originally in my designs, but it just looked weird. Now, why do we have those hallways? Why do they need to be taller? Well, this one here, this big round tower, is the tower with the moving staircases. And if you remember some of the movies, the students go up into those staircases and then into different corridors to get into their rooms, and the rooms are in here in this dorm building. This tower over here, for example, is the tower where Harry is sleeping. But also, if you are looking at pictures from Hogwarts itself, you can see that they're not really connected there. So you have the staircases, but there is nothing on the outside. And like I mentioned, this building here was the last one where we have our front that we built pretty much throughout everywhere in Hogwarts, because the only areas that we have left to do is this big round tower, and we don't have any tower this size here. So not even this part here, this half round tower, is going to match up here. So that is going to be a complete new design. Same with the Great Hall diagonal build. That again is going to be a brand new design, and I haven't designed any of those yet in creative. And if we walk over to the other side, that is where we are having the clock tower. Clock tower, I have all the outlines done. The building itself is done, but not a single detail is on. So that's what I'm currently working on in creative. But for sure not going to be ready by the next episode to get this one here built. But even though I did not upload any videos, I was still quite busy. But a lot of the things that I did have some nice results, but are not really a lot of things to show for in a video, unless you just want to see me place tons and tons of blocks. But that's just kind of what I like to do after a long, exhausting day at work. Just placing blocks and designing everything. So we have this ravine here done. Still have to add the final few details around the boulders. I need to have some more of the mossy cobblestone. But I think we have some nice areas in here where we have the ravine between the two wings. And of course that also means, but you already saw that our cliffside over here is completed. Now along the water line I still have some torches to remove, and I still have to do everything underwater, but maybe I'm gonna be able to get a conduct so that it is a little bit easier to build underwater. And then this side here, we still have to do all the details. And it started putting a few trees up. Still need several more of them. And those trees here are much simpler than the big ones that we have over here, because those are more of a forest, of a filler, where the ones over here are more of a centerpiece. But yeah, still have to put a lot of them up so that we can continue this little forest all the way back to Yeti space. And yes, I'm growing some spruce trees back here because I was running low on leaves and I just decided to plant a few. But of course, they are all gonna come down and are being replaced with some custom built ones. And then what we have to do in this episode is get this house here built so that we have an access back to our farms. Because I also was pretty busy looking over to this side. Let's take it to the skies. So we can look down and you can see there is a lot of landscaping that happened here. And again, that is just the outline or just the base. There is nothing on it yet. Everything is spawn protected, but none of the details are on. And unfortunately, this one here is probably gonna have quite a lot of woods. Now, I also need to build a Quidditch field somewhere, but I may run out of space here. So I'm not entirely sure where that is going as of right now. But if we're looking at it from this side, you can truly see how big everything is. So I would say a good chunk is now covered up, but we are still gonna have this whole island and the whole backside, and the backside is probably going to extend pretty far out here. Let's go up to a good vantage point where we can see that. So we have this ravine coming through here, and then there is actually going to be a ravine that goes in between here, and on the other side of the clock tower there is going to be another courtyard that comes out, and then we have this long wonky wooden bridge that is going to connect to some land over there that then is going to go in this direction down to Hagrid's hut. But that means that probably about where my render distance ends is about how far out I need to go with the land. Yes, I know I said that I need to build that house far away so that I can get access to my underground farms a little bit better, but I just was not in the mood of designing a house. So I decided let's build some more farms that gonna give me all the things that I need for interior decoration, and one of those is going to be dark prismarine and sea lanterns. And with this farm here, while it technically is not really designed to collect tons of material, now we are still collecting a lot. It actually is more designed as a XP farm, and it definitely gives me more than plenty of XP. Again, this one here is like the raid farm that we built in our last episode, and it's still loading. Raid farm is right over there. It's from the same creator, and I'm going to put the link down in the description to this farm here. It is a extremely simple farm. I mean, you saw in the time lapse how fast I was able to build this farm here, and we are getting a large amount of guardians here. Unless right this second, because I guess Nightmare is in the nether right now. So that's why everything is despawning. But I don't really need anything right now. But let me show you really quick how it works. So down here you can see all of our guardians. And they are all being washed up with the bubble column elevator. Well, let's get away from here. And because I am using this quarter here and my AFK spot is up there, that means that the only area from the ocean that is actually loaded in is this part here. I mean, of course, you can still have to drown and everything spawn around you, but from the ocean monument itself, the only guardians that are going to spawn are spawning in this area, and they are being transported with those portals here into the nether. And then in the nether, they go from one portal to another and end up falling down here, so that I can easily kill them with just one swipe of my sword. Now the farm itself is not finished yet design-wise, because as you know, I always just start something and then it takes weeks and months to actually get it finished. But I'm planning to have a fully submerged farm. I'm not sure if it's going to work. But if I start flooding everything in here with water, I'm wondering how it is going to look like. All the redstone is encased in glass, so technically it should work. I guess we're gonna figure that out in a few weeks. Talking about finishing something, don't tell me that I never finish anything, because I would say this one here is... I would say this one here is completed. If we don't look up to the quartz walls yet. Yes, I still have to do them. And, well, you don't see that. I could have hidden that. But my return chest is still not hooked up. But besides that, I finally got this part here completed. And I also did some mining off camera. And I collected up some diamonds. Some very important diamonds. Most of it I got as I was mining for a lot of deep slate, because the clock tower needs a lot of deep slate. So I got around to some diamonds, and I think it is time to spend some money. Isn't that just beautiful? So, Yeti or Dave, you just make a lot of money. And I am now the proud owner of the golden idol. And the golden idol actually is going over to our shopping area. And let's have a little quick stop here on the head game, since we're right here. I got all three of them. Zombie, creeper, and skeleton head. And I even was able to get a charged creeper head. Besides all some other stuff. Cat heads. Angry pollinated bee's head. We have a screaming goat's head. Some rabbits. Pufferfish. and some Vex and Ravager heads. Those kind of were an accident. I didn't want to start a raid in my base, but yes, I did start a raid in my base. Now for the idol, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but I bought this shop here and started excavating everything underneath here. There's still a lot that I need to dig down, but my plan is to build some kind of a community game in here. Some parkour, some tasks. I'm not 100% sure what to build in here, but you kind of can get to that golden idol. That's where I want to implement it. So if you have any great ideas about what I should do down here, if you have any videos from other creators that build something like that and you think I should see them, let me know. And then the last thing that we're doing in today's episode is, I want to show you this shop here. Torex brought back his auction home or auction house. They pretty much have the conduit set, for example, and you place your bid in here on how much you want to spend to buy that. And I am still the highest bidder on those two items, but I know the other ones, I think all of them got bids by now. Yeah, everybody placed some bids in here, and I'm glad to see the shopping area growing more and more, so that we have to spend less time mining and we can just do it through the economy. And that is where we are going to end this episode here in our nether hub that slowly starts to come together with some mobs in here. But now I think everything is soul speedified, so you are quicker to get around now, including the long bridge that we had to get over to the spawn and to the other side. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I see you at my next episode.